Hi, you're watching Racing-Leagues.com with Steve O'Connor and Troy Allen.
Good morning, good evening, wherever you are in the world, and welcome to Racing-Leagues.com's live broadcast of the Racing-Leagues V8 Supercars series live from Townsville. Alongside me this morning we've got our live race steward, Bruce Duncan. Bruce, good morning.
Good morning, Steve.
How are we doing today?
Well, everything seems okay so far. We're just in the middle of practice one. Everything seems calm at the moment anyway.
Yeah, looking good so far. We've got 20 cars so far in the field. It's going to be one of our biggest events so far from the looks of it. No surprises at the top so far. Brett Clark leading the way on a 109.196 with a good 4/10 in hand over Kai Turner, winner of the last race, last time out in the Valley, and Gavin Cox in third. So no surprises up front, but it's looking a bit more mixed up as you go down through the field.
It is that, yes. I mean, we've got Ian Hannon way down in 14th place at the moment. Normally you'd be expecting a little bit more from him. When Darren Goosey as well, way down 16th on a 111.9.
Yeah, the immensely frustrating Ian Hannon, as I like to put it, who seems to be racing me tooth and nail for second in the points in the European Series, and then turns up down under and, well, it's less than stellar form, shall we say?
It could just be the time difference. The early mornings might not just agree with him.
Well, we'll have to shift the European one to an early morning bit as well, if that's the case. It looks like the only way we're going to get past him.
Yeah, it is that.
So a little bit of a surprise there to see the 5 car on track. It was my understanding that Gavin was out for this weekend for a previous engagement, but I suppose as we're heading towards championship time, these boys need to get it settled between themselves before the Enduros. They've only got this race and Queensland to get this settled before they join up together for the Enduro. So I think my focus today will be on these 2 cars at the very least.
Yeah, and both these cars are actually running a new livery for this weekend in the colours of Pertec.
Yeah, it's good to see the Pertec colours back in V8 Supercars. Obviously they were at Phillip Island, wasn't it, there recently, with Coulthard and Pye, so nice to see it represented here as well.
It is, yes, it is.
It is, I must admit, it is a bit strange not seeing the familiar green Xbox on the 5 and the 55 with the Shell Helix colour. So the way they've been racing, they've been nose to tail for most of the season so far, so it's going to get interesting.
It is that, yeah. I'm just currently watching Colin Bruns just now from Andromeda, and he's currently running at 12th place. Teammate Wayne Pengilly with newcomer Wayne Dare as well, just behind him in 9th.
Yeah, so just got Wayne Pengilly on screen now. So Wayne started up his game from, what was 2 rounds ago. He actually took out the 3rd race and 2nd place in the 2nd race from Winton. So it's good to see he's starting to find his feet finally and get the pace together. And now the consistency is the next thing. So he's a little bit off where we would have expected him so far, but I suppose this is just practice, and as I say, the race is a whole different story.
That's right, yeah. I know tonight we've only got a kind of suppressed practice session of only 15 minutes before we go straight into quali in about 6 minutes' time. So we should see the drivers just beginning to find their feet slightly at the beginning of this. And, well, maybe we might get some surprises in qualifying.
Yeah, the top 10 shootout for the last few times we have run it has turned out with somebody different on pole. So Scott Taylor was the beneficiary last time round. But looking right up the front, we've got Kai Turner's closing down that gap on Brett Clark. I think it's 0.035 seconds this lap. So these 2 really are leading the way.
They are, yeah. But I've just noticed Kai Turner on track there, and who's just gone into the wall. And Colin Bruns has just decided to flip the ASR car. But Kai was looking like he was actually having some engine issues there. There was a lot of smoke coming from the back of his car.
Okay, so let's talk this track. That brings me to your engine issues there as well. So this is a bit of a weird track. It's one of my personal favourites, but it's not your typical street tracking where it's tight, twisty all the way around. You've got that massive straight leading all the way out of turn 13 down past the, not really a turn of turn 1, and into the tight right-hander turn 2. So setup around here is always going to be somewhat of a compromise, isn't it? Because to get around the twisty stuff at the back, you're going to have to have plenty of grip, lots of downforce. But to get down that straight and not be vulnerable into 1 and 2, you're going to have to make some sort of compromise, aren't you?
You are, yeah. I mean, like most street circuits, you would just go for the full downforce setup because you know you're not going to be hitting your top speed at all. But as you say, this is a weird one. So you've got to try and find that fine balance.
Yeah, absolutely. And as we heard earlier on some of the team ratings, some of the guys are using the grill tape, especially for qualifying, to try and maximise the straight line speed. But obviously in the race, that'll punish them. The engine won't take that.
No, that's right. I mean, if they go too aggressive on the tape, then you'll be lucky if they even last maybe 5 laps before the engine actually goes pop.
So it'll be interesting to see if some of the other guys who potentially haven't done as many practice laps and aren't as familiar with the cars actually get that grill tape off. Oh, and a little bit of an incident on track there. Brett Clark was on a fast one. He's caught Norman Clark. And handily for this weekend, the Oranga Racing cars, we can differentiate them because the Norman Clark car has got green flashes on the windscreen and the rear wing end plates, and the team car of Roger has got black flashes. So they were 2 of the cars that we were struggling with telling apart, but at least that's been resolved for us.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you can actually see the number on the car, that would kind of give away which car you're actually looking at.
Yeah, oh, and just as we speak, commentators cuss, Roger Clark almost rolls it into turn 2 there. So, not the best start for the practice, but at least it is just practice, yeah. So, Bruce, looking past turn 2, so you've got the tight right-hander, you've got a bit of a, I call it almost a false straight, because it sets you up for a lot of speed coming into turn 3. But turn 3 is of that kind of corner that you need to get rid of that speed because you've got nowhere else to go and you've got to get tight right. I have noticed in practice, and I'm sure you'll be looking at as the race steward, a lot of people seem to be clambering over the inside of turn 3 a little bit to try and scrub that speed off. But turn 3, if you don't get it right, your lap's pretty much ruined, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Yeah, we will be looking at that. Excuse me. It's going to be just the normal rule, 2 wheels on the track. If you've got all 4 off, then you probably might be heading towards the pits. If you're a repeat offender, then you're just constantly going off the track. But yeah, if you don't get turn 3 right, you will cause a lot of issues through the next complex for 4 right through to 10.
Yeah, because if you don't get the exit off turn 3, what I've always found is if you try and get greedy on the entry to 3, you're trying to tidy the car up before you're into 4, and then if you don't have the speed through 4, you're not carrying enough into the left-hander on 5, right-hander on 6. And then the other side is true as well. If you start to pull too much speed through there, turn 6, you're off into the runoff on the grass, and that's your lap ruined as well. So it looks pretty straightforward on the map, but it's very far from straightforward.
Yeah, that's right. It's like the Beckett's Maggots complex at Silverstone. If you don't get that perfect, it will it'll completely ruin the hanger straight for you.
Yeah, that's a very apt example there, to be honest. It's something I hadn't thought of myself, but yeah, it's exactly that kind of thing. And in qualifying, you can really see the attitude of the cars as they go through there. They're taking as much as they can because they know they've got the grip and they can park it after a lap or 2. So after the turn 6, you're into the left-hander of 7, right-hander of 8. In these cars, that's a very clumsy section, isn't it? The car just doesn't seem to want to turn, and then already you're turning to the right again. So it's a little bit of a mess through there, but get it right and you get an awesome lap time. Then you're right on to the turn 9 right-hander, which you can pretty much take flat out because you're coming slow off 8. And then the right-hander at 10, which again is keep your foot in the middle and hold on. And then you're down to a complete stop almost to the hairpin at 11. Again, an awesome place for overtaking if somebody can get it down the inside, get a good run off 10. And then the right-hander at 12. Pit entry on the right hand side, that's something we'll come back to in a minute, Bruce. And then the hairpin at 13 back onto the straight, another good overtaking place, and another place to completely mess your race up, because as the tyres go away, as you well know, the back will start to want to come round on that corner very easily. So something to watch out for the people for the rest of the race, and that's pretty much a lap of Townsville. So just as I was mentioning there, Bruce, the pits on this track are a bit of a nightmare to say the least, aren't they? It's such a tight entry. The pit lane speed limit is very, very low, and it takes an inordinate amount of time to get in and out of the pits, which sort of adds to the strategy as to when you actually pit, because it's going to cost you quite a bit of time, isn't it?
That's right, yeah, I was just going to say that the pit lane itself is fine, but it's just trying to get that entry right. If you come in too hot, you're going to hit the wall, and that could end up easily breaking a wishbone or steering arm or something like that. And then that's it, your race is completely snookered.
Yeah, exactly. And we have seen plenty of instances over the years here. We've also seen a lot of people get pit lane speed limiting issues through here. Also on the exit as well, it's not quite clear, so it's experience that counts for that. Darren Goosey, I think, has been through the pits a few times here, so but I did tell you I'd mention you, Darren. So it's one of those, you've got to factor that in your overall race strategy, especially for race 2. So just looking at the format we've got for this event, we've got the practice, which is now finished. We're into the 25-minute qualifying session at the moment. Qualifying will set positions 11 downwards. Positions 1 to 10 will then go forward to the top 10 shootout, where they get one lap on the track on their own to set the best lap they can. And as we alluded to earlier, Bruce, we've seen quite a few swap arounds, shall we say, in the previous top 10 shootouts. They haven't been the person who's necessarily been fastest all the way through, has been the person who's come out with pole.
That's right, yeah. I mean, especially last night as well in the European Series at Simmons Plains. The one person we were all expecting to be on pole, Brett Clark, ended up actually making a complete and utter mess of it at turn 2, turn 3, and ended up about 7th, I think, or 8th.
That's right, and as I said to you at the time, I'm still trying to remember the last time he made a mistake like that, but that's fresh in his mind from last night. I'm sure he'll be wanting to put it right tonight. But let's see how it plays out. So then we're into race 1, which is 25 laps. You can use any tyre, but it must be all of the one compound. There is no compulsory pit stop, so you're free to drive start to finish, no pits, fuel her up, go. Some people may choose to take a pit stop, but I would seriously doubt it with the length of time this pit lane takes. And then we're into the monster race 2, 55 laps, reverse grid results from the first race. Both tyre compounds must be used in race 2, and there is a compulsory pit stop, so you must stop at least once.
Yeah, and that's the point in time when we're going to start to see if anyone tries to push it a little bit too much into the pits to just try and make up those extra few seconds.
So we're into qualifying set 1, as it were, at the moment. We've got Kai Turner out in front on a 109.222, which is pretty much what he was running up until now, but just on camera now he's caught in a lot of traffic from the looks of it. Brett Clark is 109.264, so 0.042 behind. So that's ridiculous at this stage, isn't it, Bruce? I mean, that's an extra sticker on the front of the car, really, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at that being, God, maybe an inch, 2 inches or something. That's how far apart they actually are in real terms.
Totally. So let's talk about our new guy from last race around, Scott Taylor. Turned up, did well in qualifying, got the top 10 shootout pole. And he's just on camera right now. I was going to say if he's maybe got a bit more experience with these cars, but I don't think so, because I would suspect he's running too much grill tape, as that number 2 HRT car is smoking like a man on a mission.
Yeah, it's that. Yeah, but that's what I was saying. The Kai Turner's car, exactly the same. It seems to be just they might have been trying to push the grill tape a bit too much, and they will just end up damaging that engine.
Well, the slogan for Townsville is "The sun always shines in Townsville." The ambient track temperature is 33 degrees, so that is really going to push the limits of these cars. And if you're throwing any grill tape on it, you need to be careful.
Dakota entered channel.
Good morning, good evening, Troy, and welcome along.
Yes, good morning, Steve. Welcome, mate. Thanks for having me.
No worries, anytime. Glad to have you. We've just got Bruce joining us in the interim until you get yourself together. And a big congratulations to you and your lovely wife on the birth of your daughter, Dakota. Troy, well done.
Yeah, thanks, mate. As we speak, she's on the lap right now having a bottle, hence why I'm a little bit late.
Excellent, no worries, completely understandable. Yeah, so we'll just catch up to where we are. Troy, we're into the 25-minute qualifying session before the top 10 shootout. Usual suspects are 1 and 2, Brett Clark, Kai Turner. It's actually just flipped around, it keeps flipping around. Brett has just dived into the 108s, which is the first car into the 108s from what I can see so far. That's a stonking lap, Bruce.
Yeah, that is that. I mean, we always expect something.
That is a bit of a cracking lap. I mean, 108s around here, that's nothing to sneeze at, Steve, by any means of the imagination.
Yeah, I think that's a ridiculous lap time. Kai was stuck in traffic for the last little while there, but he looks like he's out clear on track now. So we just come back to our race 1 winner from the last race, Scott Taylor. Took the pole out in the top 10 shootout obviously as well. Engine smoking like mad on track at the moment, so he's obviously running too much grill tape. Needs to be careful of that for the race, but it'll be interesting to see if he learned anything from race 2 last time around with having to use the hard tire as well and having to deal with traffic. It'll be fascinating to see how he comes through the pack if he does, because from his practice and qualifying pace, I would expect he'll be in the top 5, so he will have to start at the back for race 2. So something for us to focus on and keep an eye out on.
Yeah, definitely, especially after his, as you said, his pace at, I think it was Hidden Valley was our last round, where he showed that in race 1, he's definitely someone to sit up and take notice of.
Absolutely. Good to have this kind of quality, and a bit of a surprise today, Troy. We've got 20 drivers, and Gavin Cox is on track as well. He was expected to be out for this round.
Yes, he was, and that is a pleasant surprise to have here. So definitely where we thought the championship was going to be pretty much said, done and dusted with Dave Kinnaman taking the points from this round with no Gavin Cox, it definitely throws it open now to that 4-way race again.
Yeah, so it's actually flipped around because we were expecting the return of the number 1 car for this round to assist the 33 of Dan Stevens in going after the championship, and with Gavin out, Dave was potentially looking a bit vulnerable to the Red Bull New Zealand team. But it's actually happened the other way around. Gavin is here and Rob isn't, so Dan is the lone warrior once again, and at the minute he's down in 8th position, 1.27 seconds off, so he's on the bubble for the top 10 shootout. He needs to be careful here, doesn't he?
Definitely, I think he needs to really consolidate on his position here, because if he wants the championship, the idea is to bring home as many points and not no points.
Ooh, and he's just as we speak, he's a little bit of a moment through turn 3 there. Just keep an eye on this car and see how it's looking. He's taking a lot of curb through there. He's got 15 minutes left of this session, so he doesn't need to be pushing as hard as this yet, but I would reckon it's playing on his mind that he's down in 8th position. His teammate's not here, and the 55 has his teammate here, so it's two rounds to go before the 55 and the 5 join up. Sorry, 1 round to go after this one. So this one plus Queensland, and the 5 and the 55's championship points will then converge, and obviously they will get the same points from the 3 Enduros. So one of them will be out of contention by then. So Dan really needs to get up on it here, get up on the wheel and get some good results out.
That's definitely what he needs to be concentrating on. He needs to be focusing on bags of points and as many points as possible. Probably not worrying so much about who's around him, just worry about driving his own race, I think.
Yeah, I suppose when we look towards the 3 Enduros, so Sandown, Bathurst and Gold Coast, I mean, for the outright win, there's only two cars that I'm really looking at that can take the win. That's no disrespect to other people's co-drivers and stuff, but it's got to be this Red Bull team with Rob Herbert, the current V8 champion, and Dan Stevens in the 33. So they will be contenders for outright victory, and I think, if I'm being honest, the only other contender for the outright victory would be the 5 and the 55, because everybody else appears to have a significant disparity between teammates. So you've got Brett Clark, who's very capable of taking out a win on his own, but he's got Ian in the car with him as well, who, no disrespect to Ian, is quite a second and a half's worth of pace missing between those two drivers, would you say?
Oh, definitely. There definitely is. Maybe a second. I wouldn't say any more than that. But in saying that too, you probably need to look at the new pairing that we've got coming on the block with Kai Turner and Wayne Dare.
I can see why you say that, Troy, but I will point out once again that this is a mammoth race, as these three, and Kai is not known for keeping the tyres on that car. If you put them on outright pace, certainly, and especially Wayne O, who's over from Outlaws Racing as well, and we know that he's a damn good driver as well. But Kai's got to unlock something with these tyres if he's going to be a contender, I would feel. If I'm being brutally honest.
And I totally agree with you, Stephen. That's something we've worked on in this last 2 weeks, is trying to get his tyre life to last. And he seems to have unlocked something in the car this last fortnight, whereas at Townsville, he seems to be getting those softs to really last a considerable amount of time.
Oh, just as we said, Dan Stevens has taken a spin there as well. He managed to get himself up to 6, so 1.47 seconds off the pace. But it's not looking the usual smooth, clean style as normal.
No, he grabbed a bit of curb there, and that seemed to unsettle the car, and next thing you know, round he goes.
Doesn't look like he's quite got the feeling that Merck, and I have spoken to him several times in the previous rounds, that he's just not getting the feedback that he needs or wants. And Dan, obviously we were teammates for quite a number of years, and I know that he likes what I like from a car as well, and I have noticed there's a little bit less of a feel from it, but I've obviously got around that by ramping up the caster a bit to try and give me something more on the wheel, but I'm not sure if Dan can live with that kind of a change to the car. So I think he's a little bit of a struggle at this point in the season. But as we know, come race time, he'll be there or thereabouts.
Yeah, look, I think if he can just get his head around it, then he'll be fine.
So let's have a look at the 555 race and teammates, just seeing if any of them are right on track. So we've got Kinnaman out on track in the 55. Then the new Pertec livery cars for this weekend. It's great to see Pertec back in the V8 Supercars Championship, and these cars look awesome, but as usual it annoys me because they're both identical. Put some window flashes on or something, lads, just to give us a hand, because I reckon you two will be nose to tail through most of the two races, so it'll be the commentator's nightmare, and I'm sure both myself and Jaws will trip over it at some stage, won't we?
We will. I can guarantee you that one, Steve, because if you've got two cars that look the same, and they're going to be nose to tail, it's going to be very hard to get a grip on who's who.
It does look like there's actually a slight difference with the rear wing end plates on the two cars. That's about the only difference.
There's a red one on the 5 and there's a black one on the 55. Okay, I'll take it back. They have made a difference for us. Should have done the wing mirrors. That's what I'm going to say.
Yeah, I mean it's the smallest of differences.
So it's all in the wing mirrors, is it?
No, it's all on the rear wing end plates. Should have done the wing mirrors to match.
Really?
And the windscreen flash, and I'd have been happy. But they're both awesome looking cars. So I assume that's from Gavin and perhaps Parrot from FVR. So beautiful looking cars. Well done on that. It's nice to see the FGX looking so good.
Yeah, look, the FGX, it's a pretty good looking car, but give me a Commodore any day of the week.
Spoken like a true Holden fan. So just kind of have a quick look at the ASR teammates. So we've got Mr. Pengelly down in 7th position. Let me see, yeah, we got him down 7th position, 1.35 off the top, so he's coming up as well. He's actually bumped Dan Stevens down to 8th, and Colin Bruns, ever the close watch for the second ASR car. He's only a couple of tenths back off his teammate as well. Looking quite good. Looking like he's got a little bit of lag issues on my screen here as well. He's all over the track, which isn't good to see. But those two are starting to come on strong as well, so they'll be an interesting pairing in the Enduros as well, especially when you add in the experience of myself and Bruce in the other car as well. I'm sure we can have the two ASR cars up in the top 5, 6 at the very least, so let's see how they get on with that one.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, they've been a bunch of guys that have showed some pretty good pace, and they're definitely on the up and up.
So Troy, are you driving yourself in the Enduros as well?
Yes, I am. I'll be partnering my other partner in crime, Darren Goosey, and we actually had a run together at Phillip Island in the Outlaws Racing League on Wednesday night. And I tell you what, he drove the tyres off my car. I couldn't keep up with him.
Oh, that's good to know as well. So, what's your expectations for the team for the Enduros?
Look, I'm hoping that our number one car, being the 408 of Kai Turner and Wayne Dare, be right up there in contention, and which should hopefully see Kai come home with some good bags of points and really put the pressure on for the title. As for me and Darren, look, a solid top 10 throughout the whole series is I'll be more than happy to walk away with that quite comfortably.
And over to you, Bruce. ASR, 4 drivers, 2 cars. What's your expectations for the Enduros?
It's going to be a long race. A very, very long race. It's going to be about just tyre management. That's the main thing. I know you could be hyper fast over one lap, but what's the point in that if you destroy your tyres? It's tyres that will eventually win the race. Well,
one interesting thing in the mix is Sandown for sure is hard tyre only. So is that going to sort of alleviate things a little bit, or does the different driving style required for the hard tyre, is that going to throw the field open a bit more?
I think it could actually throw the field up a bit more. Some people can drive with hard tyres. Some people just feel like they're driving on ice with them. They just don't get the same feeling. And which they could end up over driving, then destroying the tyres.
Yeah, of course the key to the hard tyres is to keep the heat out of them as much as possible. Otherwise they drop off as quick as the soft tyre. So yeah, it's a little bit of easy in, fast out if you can, and try and keep it all together. But it's nice that there's only one tyre compound available for Sandown, especially from my perspective, because it takes another variable out of it. As you say, some people can drive on the softs a lot better than they can drive on the hards, so it takes that variable out and forces everyone to practice on the one tyre and run on the one tyre as well. And you do need something with a bit of longevity for somewhere like Sandown as well, because turn 1 into Sandown just destroys the tyres after a while. You've got to be so careful around there and around the back stretch as well. It's something that some of these drivers wouldn't have experienced before, is to try and carry a car as far as it possibly will go on a set of tyres.
Yeah, that's right. It's been a while since I've actually had to do anything like that, and the last thing I think would have probably been when I was racing NASCAR, and just knowing how to manage the tyres on an oval would kind of put you in good stead for an endurance race.
Absolutely. At the end of the day, these cars are built to be able to withstand the pressures of somewhere like Sandown and Bathurst, but Sandown is basically just a warm-up, isn't it? Because then we head to the almost 6 hours at Bathurst. That is going to be a gargantuan effort from all drivers concerned.
6 hours, are you sure?
Well, it's going to be almost 6 hours, isn't it? Or is it over 6, I think?
Well, I'm going to say maybe over 6, actually.
Probably, yeah. So at the moment, anybody watching this, we've got 10 or 11 officially registered cars for these events. So anybody else watching, you're quite welcome to come along and join in. trying to get as many cars locked in as possible in the next few weeks. We're not quite sure on the TV coverage for that at the moment, because obviously we do the coverage ourselves and we'll be racing ourselves, so there might be a little bit of a in and out sort of section going on between us.
So there's something going on there, but looking at the timing monitors, we've had Kai Turner dropping an absolute scorching lap of a 108.870.
And do you know what? That's the biggest gap between the two so far. And the gap is 0.078 seconds. So that's less than a tenth of a second. It's, as we said to Bruce earlier, that's a sticker on the car.
So I must thank Bruce for that lighter coat of paint that he put on for us.
Yes, you want something extra, just slightly bigger sticker on the front to trip the timing beam.
As we speak, Steve, as we speak,
and it's
Brett Clark 837
at 0.033 seconds. So Brett has got the gap back to about where it was previously.
I take my call back in that extra coat of paint.
I'll tell you what, guys, this part of the season is really, all the drivers are familiar with each other, they're familiar with the cars, they know how to stand it on the end and get the most out of it, so it's amazing to see that. That is a ridiculous time between two drivers. I mean, literally, that's somebody took a slightly different line through an inch of a corner. If that's the difference between these two guys at the minute.
Realistically, I think that's just a nanosecond of getting on the throttle out of the hairpin under the final stroke.
It is ridiculous. And I'll tell you what, Mr. Scott Taylor has just jammed in second position there on a 109.179, so showing the pace that he did before as well. Third position, looking good, but I doubt anyone's going to topple these two at this point.
No, definitely not. That's incredible. It really is. They both put down, in excess of, almost 15 laps, and to be within 0.033 of a second of each other, this leads us for one cracking set of races tonight.
It does. Oh, apologies, guys. We appear to have lost the TV feed. Just hang fire.
I was
Are we
just
still live?
say,
Can we still be heard?
Yeah, we can still be heard. Hang on a second. Bruce, can you ask Dan to get everyone to jump out before the top 10 so I can get the TV feedback?
no problem.
Apologies, viewers. There's a little bit of a delay with the TV plug-in.
Bruce moved to V8 Supercars.
And it's a little bit flaky when you touch anything in R Factor 2 itself. So give us 1 second. We will be back with you.
Dan, you got me on Whisper. No, so yeah, just want to make sure you can hear me. Steve's just asked me if you can get everyone to jump out before top 10, because apparently the live feed's gone down. I just don't want to ruin everyone's laps with the can leave yours by accident. Sorry. Hang on. Hi Dan, got me. Right, sorry. Yeah, Steve's asked if everyone, for God's sake, hang on. That's better, I can mute Troy. Sorry, I've gone and screwed my buttons up and I want to use this whisper button. Steve's asked if everyone could come out of the server before we go to top 10 because the live feed's gone down. Yes. Yes, we do. I've got that here.
If they just come out, Bruce, the times will stick when they go back in. Apologies viewers, we'll be back shortly. We're just reorganising, getting everyone out of the server so we can reload the TV graphics package, so it won't be long, so just hang with us and we'll be straight into the top 10 shootout.
Matt White, you're watching Racing-Leagues.com with Steve O'Connor
Quick question.
and Troy Allen.
Hear me?
What's up, Bruce?
Hello?
I'm here.
Steve, you ready to do a test with the team chat?
Yeah, go for it.
Quick question.
Go.
Dan. Hello?
Bryce, can you go up and boot them? Sorry guys, just slight technical hits, we're almost there, don't worry, we'll be with you in a second.
Hello, can anyone hear me?
I can hear you, Bruce. Can you hear me, Bruce? Troy, are you there?
I'm here, mate.
Can you hear Bruce?
Negative. Could you hear?
I can't
Could
hear
you
you.
hear Kai Goosey?
No,
No,
I can't
okay.
hear you. Get him down me. Dan.
Hello.
Yeah, is everybody out yet?
Yeah, well, yeah, everybody's out manually, but there's still people in there.
Okay, give me a second, I'll rectify it.
Yep.
Yep, I can hear you guys.
Okay, what about now, Steve? You got me?
Let him know I can hear him, I can't speak to him yet.
Okay, no worries. Okay, no problems. Are we right to come back in?
No, not yet. Dan, go. Go. Okay, guys, apologies for that. We're back with you.
Done, Steve.
Yeah, we're in, Dan. Go for it. Yeah, we've got a little bit of an issue with the TV plugin where it likes to crash every so often, so leave well enough alone on that one.
Yeah, no, I had done, well, at 11 minutes past 10 when I took this picture. Colin was in 11th.
Okay, Bruce, can you take me off the Dan whisper when you get a chance? It's coming through on the TV. Okay, guys, so we're getting ready for the top 10 shootout. So Bruce will let us know of the order shortly. So we've got a feature for this race. We're going to have the DSA team radio chat coming through as well, so we get a little bit of an extra in-depth view to what goes on behind the scenes with these teams. Be interested in particular, Troy, because that's your team and one of the outright contenders will be on the radio as well, Kai Turner.
Yeah, it will be, mate. I've had a quick chat with him and I'm just told him we'll be running through the same scenario. It was how we ran the final race at Hidden Valley. So everyone at home will get an idea on what we actually go through to bring home a winning car.
Yes, there's a lot of variables people probably don't realise, especially in race 2. And I managed to catch myself out last night as well, where if I'd had a team manager on the radio, it would have assisted quite a bit with it. So
How's your tyre wear, Goose? They heating up?
There we go. We've got the team.
Yeah, look, it wasn't too bad. I should be right for the full
That's
length
what
of this race.
because it's the only name that's not on the list, and we did have 22.
Just shows you, Steve, that any time these boys are always talking about something going on with the car.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so apologies, people watching if it comes through too much, but we'll try and get Troy
Yourself's
to keep it
fifth.
down to a little bit of a minimum.
Dan will be sixth. Bert's seventh.
Let's have a quick chat to him now.
Oh, right.
So yes, as I was saying there, we had issues, where team management present would be awesome, especially with fuel strategy. Very often you get some anomalies with your dash readings, and I suffered one myself last night, which left me a lap short, which is the most frustrating thing ever from a driver's point of view, to end up right up for a second position overall and have to make that extra splash and dash, which just drops you right down the field. So something to keep an ear out for tonight with these guys as well, and see how they operate during the race as well. So it adds that little bit of an extra dimension for everybody to see what's going on in the drivers' minds, and obviously with the team manager present as well, who'll be assisting them where possible. So it's vital to get that ability in.
Yeah, look, I think my hardest job as team manager for these guys is Kai. Realistically, he's the one that sort of requires the coaching more to sort of keep his mind on the track. And Darren, he just drives himself, keeps to himself, drives his own race, and he's such an easy guy to have in your team.
Yeah, totally. And he's also got the experience that's required as well for somebody like Kai, who is got tons and tons of pace, lots of enthusiasm, just needs that little bit of a experienced hand behind the wheel to guide and show there's two ways to do a thing rather than attack.
Oh, definitely, and that's something we've been working on over the last probably 6 to 8 weeks with Kai, is just getting him to sort of keep an eye on his tyres and take them into consideration. It has been hard because for some reason TrackMap's not working on his computer at the moment, and we can't get a
exactly
tyre dig situation.
Yeah, that's the thing. You start to rely on these.
It's all Brett's fault.
Dashboards. Hang on a second. Bruce, I think I'm on a chat with you, Dan, or something. Could you take me out of that one? We're getting a bit of a one-sided conversation with the race steward there. Yeah, as I'm saying, you start to rely on these tools, which not a lot of people who perhaps are watching realise that there's that sort of depth to getting through a race with these cars. So you've got your tyre life management, you've also got your fuel strategy, and when you become reliant on them, when they're not there, it's like missing a wheel off the car, isn't it?
Oh, big time. These plugins that we use for the racing is is crucial. I mean, you've got your fuel burn, your tyre deg figures, and that's a percentage number.
Absolutely, yeah, and you start to drive to those numbers and to try and build up your strategy based around that as well. And as I was saying, I got caught out last night myself. My dashboard was telling me I had no fuel required to finish, and I was watching the fuel numbers in the tank actually just dropping down, and I was looking at it going, there's absolutely no way we've lost the feed again. Hang on.
Yeah, I got complete connection loss from it's the R-Factor servers.
Okay, that's not good. Oh yeah.
Steve, you got me.
Yeah, I've just got it. The whole server's gone down. 1 second. Okay, so this is obviously going to be one of these nights, unfortunately.
Definitely seems that way.
Yeah, it's something bizarre with I think one of the cars has come in and tripped something on the way through.
Yeah, I got a connection lost and I've been booted, and then upon trying to reconnect, I'm getting an invalid server password.
Okay, we should be coming back up again, hopefully.
Steve, whisper.
Yeah, that server went down, Dan.
Yeah, mate, it's back up again.
All right, don't let anyone get in before me.
Righto.
Should be good to go now, Dan. Okay, apologies viewers, we're back for the third time.
Just while we're booting up, Steve, there's a fair few newcomers
go
this
for it.
weekend as well.
Cool.
Yes, there are quite a few. We had 21 cars on track, so it should be a good race if we ever get through the top 10 shootout. I think just to reassure viewers if we're watching, if it happens again, we'll just load without the TV graphics next time, so we'll just talk you through it. So we'll give it one last try with this, we'll let the guys get on with it, and then we'll take it from there, but we won't, if we lose it again, we'll be back for good without the graphics, unfortunately. So just stick with us. We should be good for top 10 shootout any minute. Let me just inform race control that we're good. Bruce, you got me?
Yes, you've got you.
Bruce, we're good. Just get everybody into the top 10 shootout as quick as we can. If it crashes out again, we'll load without the TV graphics, which means it won't crash on the TV feed, so nobody has to come out and in again.
No problem.
Apologies, technical hitches in sim racing. What can you do?
Grin and bear it.
Exactly. So Troy, what are we looking for from this race? We'll just bring up the track map again. We went through it earlier on. It's a street circuit, but it's weird. I suppose is the best description. A street circuit, as we normally think of, is tight, twisty, cumbersome for the cars sometimes. But this is anything but. You've got that massive straight from the hairpin at turn 13 through the kink of 1 down into the tight round hander at 2. The setup for that straight alone is a compromise for the rest of the track, isn't it? Because if you take the downforce off, what are you going to do through the 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 section where they are the tight, twisty walls everywhere?
Well, that's it. And the difference on this with this track is it's actually not a genuine street track. It's what I like to refer to as a hybrid, where it's actually part street and part permanent circuit, where it's actually 7% permanent circuit. So there's some sections there that the boys are going to have, no real lines on there to contend with. But it's one that you've got. It's, I guess you could say it's very much Phillip Island. Like you've got a long straight section with some tight turns as well.
Yeah, it's also very flat as well, which that starts to hurt the cars on the tires, doesn't it? Because you've got no real hook into the corners, if you like. It's just flat everywhere, isn't it? It starts to push you out. You get a bit of understeer dropping in after a while. Then add a bit of a little pinch of oversteer around turn 11 and turn 13, and you've got a handful, haven't you, to deal with?
Oh, definitely. But it's one of those circuits that, you know what, if you get it right, it's a hell of a lot of fun.
Oh, totally. It's one of those genuine tracks. It's one of my personal favourite tracks. And it's a challenge in every stretch of the curve, isn't it?
Very much so. I think probably the hardest section to get the car right is probably coming out of 9 into 10 there, because you're getting... The car gets light in the rear, you want to try and keep the power down to a good run into 11 because you can make a passing maneuver there.
So at this point, Troy, we normally talk about the weather, but there's not a lot of weather to talk about in Townsville apart from the heat.
That's top end bliss for you, mate. At this very point in time, my rugby league football team, they're up there battling out with the North Queensland Cowboys at Townsville, so I can only tell you it's hot.
Yeah, so you've got 31 degrees track temperature, 29 degrees air temperature. Track temperature is only going to go up. That's going to start to eat these tyres, isn't it?
It will, because then the oil starts coming out in the surface, and then causes the tyres to slip a bit more across the surface, which then increases your tyre deck as well.
Yeah. So just taking a look at our weather radar, just for a laugh, and I can't see a cloud or any kind of weather front anywhere to be seen.
As Wendy Matthews said, not a cloud in the sky.
And that's the truth round here.
On another note, Steve, I hear it's also a congratulations to you and your wife with an anniversary today, mate.
It certainly is. Well, it's 12 years, but 1 year officially married. So, yep, thanks for that. I'll have to get out of here a little bit earlier than normal, so hopefully we get both races in, but we'll get as much as we can in for you all.
Well, I don't know if it's more commiserations to her for putting up with you for 12 months, or congratulations to you for having her put up with you for 12 months.
Bit of both, mate. Bit of both. You know how it is.
I know exactly how it is. Been there for nearly 10 years now myself.
It's an experience. Hopefully she's not watching YouTube, or I could be in trouble.
Oh, definitely.
So I think everybody's just getting a little bit of a feel for the track, and then we should be loading into the top 10 shootout sooner rather than later, hopefully. Let me just check what the progress is on that. Bruce, you got me?
Got you, Steve.
How long to the shootout?
About 30 seconds.
Beautiful. Can you give us the order as they pop up? If you just tell us.
Is this just a case that they're probably trying to
Right, okay.
back down on the track, Steve?
Yeah, I think they're just getting a feel for the grip levels at the minute, because obviously it's changed significantly since the previous race, because all the rubber's gone, so it's a little bit unfortunate. Not quite sure what happened with the race server there. We've never actually seen that happen before, so a bit bizarre.
Yes, it is. Now, can you remind me here, Steve, the Pertec with the red wing plates is who?
I think that's Dave. Let me have a look. Nope, I got it wrong. Commentator's curse. The one with the black end plates is Dave, and the red end plates is Gavin.
Alright, so black for Kiwi and red for Red Centre. Okay.
I'll be back in a sec.
That's the one. Okay, so 30 seconds or so until the top 10 shootout, so we should be having some action coming up shortly. So our race steward is going to inform us as to who is coming out on track and who will be up next. So I can't wait, Troy.
No, I'm definitely anxious to see what's going on. 21 V8 supercars roaring around the streets of Townsville.
Definitely. It looks like we got a little bit of a lag issue with somebody there. Seems to be causing everybody else a little bit of a nightmare.
You got an idea on who it might be?
No idea, just as yet.
And it looks as though the Vegemite cars still haven't paid for their paint repair bill.
I think to be fair to them, I think the templates only appeared this week, so yeah, let's see how they get on. But yeah, I miss our Vegemite conversations.
Oh look, we can still have it, but that's just a 3-year-old's breakfast.
It's just not as much fun as it was.
No, definitely not winning.
Okay, so we raised the point there that the grip levels have changed now, significantly less grip as we head to the top 10 shootout. So I doubt we'll be seeing any 108s anytime soon for this, will we?
No, I don't think you will. I think what these boys need to do, if they're in the top 10, is probably bank a lap. Don't try going out for that bonsai lap, because the grip's not there that what you had.
Yeah, totally. It's safe rather than sorry on this one, and you can be very sorry on a street circuit very quickly, because the only run out you're going to find is a wall.
And I don't particularly like forking over money to a Scotsman for my repair bills.
Unfortunately, that Scotsman does like you forking over the money for the repair bills, so...
Steve,
he
you
does.
copy?
Yes, Bruce, we got you.
Right, yeah, we've got Colin Bruns up first.
Just coming back in now.
Okay, Troy, so from Bruce there, we've got Colin Bruns from ASR in the 111 Rockstar holding Commodore. He's just making his way out now, so tidy qualifying by the two ASR drivers. They're both in the top 10, so it's good to see both cars starting to move in the right direction, isn't it, with this team?
Yeah, definitely. And it also looks like Trevor Dixon, a newcomer, just signed up today, I think it was, Steve, and he's made the top 10 as well.
Yeah, Trevor is friends with Doug from FVR who built this mod. So Doug's invited him along and got him sorted out and set up. So it's good to see, and as you say, it's good to see somebody with so much pace as well in his first event. So we had Scott Taylor at the last one rock up and take out the top 10 shootout in race 1, and we've got Trevor Dixon, who's a massive Lions fan from what I understand as well. So a big Triple Eight fan, so good to have Trevor on track.
And then we've got Joe Bosma, I guess is how you pronounce it. I apologise if it was wrong. I think he's from JFF, and Wayne Dare from Outlaws. So fair few leagues deciding to come over and join us and play.
Yeah, it's good, especially as we lead up to Endurance. We're trying to get as many other series involved as well, so we can do these cars justice over the Sandown 500. And when I say Sandown 500, I mean 500Ks. That's what we will be running. And then the Bathurst 1000, again, we'll be running 1000Ks. So 6 hours plus of action there between 2 drivers per car. That's going to be a monster of an event, isn't it? And then the Gold Coast 600, and again, when I say 600, it will be 600Ks over 2 races. So everybody over the next month and a week,
Steve.
I think it is going to be busy. Yes, Bruce, just tell us who it is.
Dan Ricard Pavel's up next.
So Dan Ricard Pavel up next there, we have it from Bruce. So Colin Bruns is on his actual lap now as well. Car's looking settled, but he's not ragging it, so I think he's taking your advice to heart there, Troy, and making sure he gets a lap on the banker. There, he left a lot on the table out of that turn. Coming through the 8-9 complex now, down towards the right-hander at 10, which is more of a kink than a right-hander, but get it wrong, he'll be on the wall on the outside. Into the hairpin at 11, which you've really got to stand it on the nose and get that back set round here. And then you got 12 on the right-hander there as well. You can make a mistake there on the curb and you're off. And then finally into this horrible hairpin at 13, which is great for TV, but as a driver, you just feel like you don't know how to drive.
And then you get a little bit taily coming onto the straight, and that can end up, which it almost did there for Colin.
That's exactly what I was alluding to. So 111.865, half decent lap. Let's see how it balances out against everybody else. And just so we say, Dan Ricard Pavel there, who's the next car on track, runs out a little bit wide into turn 13. Doesn't get the ideal start on the straight in the Vegemite car. So he's coming down through the kink of turn 1. You've got walls all around, heading towards turn 2. Keeping it out wide, turn in, clip the apex and try and hold her. He pulled her in a little bit too tight there perhaps. There's always the tendency on turn 2 there to get a little bit greedy, Troy, and you find yourself out in what looks like plenty of tarmac, but there's a wall in front of you when you put the power down to go straight, isn't it?
It sucks you in. It's very, very misleading. It'll suck you in very quickly. And I mean, you want to try and take a little bit of curve there into 2. And you can see Ricard Pavel here, he's definitely using every bit of bitumen he's got available to him.
Yeah, you need to use that extra bit on that. Ooh, almost tipped it there as well, clipped the curb nice and hard. So he is standing on it on this one. So this I would expect to be faster than Bruns' lap. Heading down towards turn 11 in there, round 12. A little bit of oversteer through there, through 12. Set it over to the right hand side for 13. Lock it in, try and get the apex, get the power down without going too wide. Pretty tidy lap there, to be honest. Let's see where it stands up. And a 110.3, so yeah, much better lap there.
Yeah, you can see him coming into 11 there. He's sort of maybe on the rear bias a little bit too much there, and the car just seemed to have slid a little bit in on the turn-in.
Bruce, who's next?
Wayne Pingilly's up next.
So we've got Wayne Pengelly from ASR just on his lap now starting. So this is a 222 car, second place in the second race at Winton and race winner of the third race at Winton. Came to the attention of the stewards quite a bit in the early part of the season, but he's really cleaned up his game and starting to show some really strong pace. So taking plenty of curb through there, coming over to the right into the left-hander there. And now the right-hander trying to run out as much as possible to the exit. Yeah, he uses a little bit of the exit there. That's good, tidy.
A lot more aggressive than Collins right
Yeah, tidy run. He's using the curb to get himself around both of those corners, run out to the tires, right-hander. Then the next right-hander of 10 there. And then we've got 11 coming up now as well, which is the tight hairpin almost. Oh, he's taking too much through there, Troy.
Yeah, he got a little bit too greedy, and you can see the cars are sort of been unsettled, and that could cost him a good half a second, I think, Steve.
Yeah.
Even wide on the final hairpin.
Yeah, and he didn't get as much on the exit as he needed to there. Need to use everything he can. And yeah, 110.754 there for Wayne. So into provisional second position at the moment. Bruce, who's next?
We've got Bert Van G up next.
So Pepsi Max Falcon FGX of Bert Van J is now on track as well. So let's see how Bert gets on. So he's through there. He's left a lot on the table through there if this is his actual lap.
I think you'll find this is a tight lap.
Not sure, but isn't it? Yeah, he's taking a little bit out there in the X. He's not as aggressive as Wayne and Dan Ricard Pavel were through those. Ooh, close on the tires.
No, but he's definitely got that car flowing quite nicely, and I think that could be the key to a good lap here, Steve.
Definitely. Now let's see how we get through 11. Yeah, that's a better run through 11. Hook it into the right to 12. Stay to the right. Line her up for 13. There you go. Hit the apex here. Use as much of the...
Lock up front left.
Missed the apex on that one. That's going to cost him. Yeah, that did as well.
11-1.
So, left a little bit on the table through there. Bruce, next.
Yeah.
Next up is Dan the Punisher Stevens.
So we've got one of our championship contenders up now. If I can find him.
It's just coming out of 1 now into 2. He's definitely standing on it.
And
yeah,
not showing up on our monitor.
Yeah, no, you're definitely using all the track available to him out of 2.
There we go now, yep. Finally. We pick up one of the outright championship contenders in the Red Bull New Zealand E63 Mercedes MG. So, ooh, he's missed a little bit on that, has he, Troy?
He definitely used a lot of the curb coming out of that section, but even there he's sort of ran wide. Oh, he's just not clipping those apex for that section there. 8, 9, and now let's see how 10 goes. And
she looks unsettled.
Yeah, no, that rear end's not happy through 10.
Not at all. Do love the sound of this Mercedes though as well. It sounds like it's a proper racing engine as well as screaming all the way down, almost like a V12.
I've almost been tempted to say that it sounds like the Formula 1 version they built, but they just put a rev limiter on it.
And where does Dan slot in there? Into 4th, yeah, as we suspected, 11.142. He's not going to be happy with that one. Bruce, next.
No, he's definitely...
Next up, Gavin Cox.
And the second of our 3 outright championship contenders at this point. Well, actually, there's 4, including Kai, but he's a little bit back. So, Gavin Cox. Is Gavin actually our points leader, or is he second in the points?
No, Dave Kinnaman's our point leader.
Okay, so second in the points, Gavin Cox from 555 Racing. One thing you'll notice with Gavin throughout his qualifying laps is he uses a lot of engine braking, so you'll hear this Ford screaming a bit more than the rest of the cars.
Yeah, I really don't want to be a valve spring in Gavin's engine, eh?
He only seems to do it in qualifying, which is what you want though. You push as hard as you can, use as much of the car as possible. So here we go, we're into turn 11 now as well. This looks like a very tidy lap, looks like plenty of pace as well. I would suspect this will go straight to pole from here. Very nice, as we said, to see the Pertec cars out here. That's the way you want to take that turn, but a little bit oversteer. Yeah. And there we go.
And that's just
1:10.280. That is a beautiful time there. Bruce, next.
Next up, David Kinnaman.
And here's the second of the Pertec cars now, the 55 car of our points leader, Dave Kinnaman, as well. So he's just setting up on his warm-up lap, so we'll get Dave all the way around this track as well. So Put to the board all the way down this straight. You're going to hook into the right-hander, which is called turn 1, but isn't really a turn. But tell that to everybody when they're piling through there all at once. And into turn 2 now. Get the apex, don't go too wide. He's right to the wall on that one.
That's what you want. He's showing some commitment.
He's not leaving anything on the table. There's no room for errors there, and I'm impressed to see that from the points leader. Car's looking beautifully balanced through here, as well as not too many lockups, so he's not taking too much curb. He's right out there using everything. That's what you want to do through there. It's there, so use it. Ooh. Oh, I knew that was going to happen. You could just see the attitude of that car as it came in there, that it was going slightly too fast, and there was no way. I said earlier, when you get to that point on this circuit, you do feel like you're driving a truck, because the car just does not want to turn as quick as those corners come at you. Be interested to see though. I don't think he lost that much time, Troy.
No, but it'll be interesting. What was his final time there, Steve?
Don't know. It's just coming up now. Oh, he lost quite a bit actually. Sorry, 111.241. I'll tell you what, you've got to give it to him though. Points leader, putting it on the line. Bruce,
he's
next.
definitely showing that he's not afraid.
Next up, Scott Taylor.
So we got Scott Taylor, the top 10 shootout winner from Hidden Valley and race 1 winner from Hidden Valley. Now out on track in the number 2 HRT SB Tools Commodore. So he's just coming through here. He's going. It looks like it's a tidy lap so far, Troy.
Definitely tidy. He's using all the track, but you're not seeing the tyres showing sign of hurt.
Yeah, he's using all the track, but he's not using the curbs. That's an interesting approach to see how that pays off for him, although he's using it through these bits to get the car turned.
There's certain section of the track where you need to be using the curbs. Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, definitely. So we're into 11, staying nicely out wide. Taking oversteer on the brakes there. The brake balance is too far back, I would say, on that one, Troy.
Definitely looks like it.
Yeah, he looked like he locked the rears as he came in, so yeah, maybe a little bit of an adjustment on the fly might have helped there. But other than that, it looked like a very tidy lap, but I reckon that will cost him. Yeah, he's only into 3rd, but that lap of Gavin Cox looking pretty special at this point in time. Bruce, who's next?
Next up, Eddie Turner.
And next up we have DSA's very own Kai Turner, race winner from the final race at Hidden Valley. Finally broke the duck. Troy, you were over the moon, shall we say?
Yeah, mate, we were tickled pink. Tried to party along in the night, but everyone ran away.
Oh dear. I'll tell you what, the green flashes in this match Townsville nicely, don't they?
It does actually. It blends in quite nicely with the track limits.
That's where Bruce got that dodgy tin of paint from.
Yeah, he told me it cost him a fortune, but obviously it didn't.
Of course he did. That is an awesome entry and exit through that section. He looked like he didn't care. That car was just going to go, and that was it.
Oh, he's ringing this thing's net. I've told him to go for a banker, but he's not listening.
The impetuosity of youth, fair play. He's ringing the neck of this car. This is going to be in the 109s, I would suspect, at this point. So, just Brett Clark to go after this. So, looking damn good for a pole position here at this point. Oh,
well in the lines.
Nice one, Kai.
109.661. Awesome. And let's pick up our 2-time V8 Supercars champion, South Africa's very own Brett Clark from GRC Rizla Nissan. You want to see how to do a qualifying lap? This is the guy to watch. There'll be nothing left on the table here, Troy.
No, and we've seen that he's I think he stuffed up the top 10 this morning in the Euro League too.
I'll tell you what, one thing with Brett is he's forgotten about that 2 seconds after it happened. Look at that.
Yeah,
he's
definitely.
Everything. Using as much as he can through there and getting away with it. Car is getting thrown around here, and look at that. That's just phenomenal car control through there. He smashed the curbs on the way in, and then just caught it as it bounced off heading towards the tire wall and got his foot back in it. And here we go. that's going to cost. A little bit of oversteer through there. Got a little bit greedy on entry and had to tidy it up with a boot full of throttle on the way out. Into the final corner. Chopped off the apex there nicely. Got the power down nice and early. Run out wide. And across the line. I think this could be close.
Oh!
That turn 11 cost him.
If that's half a second, then that's pole.
Yeah, that's pole. So, there we have it. We have our final results for the top 10 shootouts. So, let's just get that up on screen for everybody there to see. It's the final corner. Chopped off the apex there. So we've got the top 10 shootout of the way. At one point I didn't think we'd ever get it, to be honest, Troy, but here we go. So let's get it up.
Yeah, we actually got there.
So we've got Kai Turner on pole position from Brett Clark in second position, Gavin Cox third, Dan Rickard Powell doing a fine job there to get himself into fourth, Scott Taylor, a little bit of oversteer, looked like a brake lockup into turn 11, it cost him dropping down to fifth, Wayne Pengelly doing a sterling job in sixth position, Bert Van Jay seventh, Dan Stevens, the third of our championship contenders in 8th position, and the overall points leader David Kinnaman in 9th position made a big mistake on his lap, and Colin Bruns first out, so obviously he had to see the conditions first himself, cost him a little bit, so he's 2.2 seconds off pole in 10th position. So well done to ASR there, and the championship contenders are nicely mixed up there, and Gavin Cox has got a few cars between himself and Kinnaman and Stevens, and I think that's where we'll be looking quite a bit, won't we, Troy? Because these two have come together several times in pre-season and during the season. I'd like to say there's no love lost between them, but unfortunately it's a bit of a love in between some of these guys. So I know when you're watching it back, guys, come on, we need a bit of hate. It makes things interesting. And welcome along.
Yeah, definitely.
And welcome along to Doug from FVR. Sorry you couldn't join us on track, but maybe we'll see you for the final round. And I don't know if you've seen my forum post in FVR. You know, we could do with an FVR team in for the Enduros. Surely Flash can dust off his wheel and jump in with you.
I think that's only fair, mate. I think these guys created this show, and they should definitely mount a car.
Absolutely, it'd be good to see if we get people involved. But so here we go, Troy. We're into the 10-minute warm-up before race one. Just to remind everybody of the format here, we've got 25 laps, race one. You can use any tire, but it must all be of the same compound. No CPS in race one, so you don't have to stop if you don't want to. It will be an absolute disaster if you do have to stop, because it's a very slow pit through here, isn't it, Troy? A horrible pit lane entrance as well. There's plenty of room to make a big mistake on the way in, so you want to avoid it if at all possible. And then we're into race 2, which is 55 laps reverse grid. We may not be able to cover all of race 2, unfortunately, as I've got a prior engagement, but we'll do our best to get as much to you as possible. Race 2, both tire compounds must be used. So with the reverse grid start from the results of race 1, Troy, it's going to be one hell of a race around this track.
Definitely, it's a very busy lap. There's a bit of room, so they can definitely get some space between them. But the reverse grid on a street circuit, I think, usually can be a recipe for disaster.
Yes, totally. It's just one of those, isn't it? You got to balance the risk reward, haven't you, to get in, and hopefully a lot of these, especially the bigger teams, will have practiced the pit in and pit out on this track, because it does bear mentioning several times that you get it wrong, you're gonna be in parked.
I know that for a fact. Last night, me and Kai spent some time. I said to him to make sure he gets his pit run work out his braking marker, everything, the whole lot. Get that pit run down pat.
Okay, so hopefully we'll be able to get our replay system working tonight. We've had a bit of a mirror with ISA and or Factor 2 over the last few builds where we keep changing things, not telling anybody, and stuff that worked before no longer works, so it gets immensely frustrating for us trying to bring you the best coverage we possibly can.
Sorry, Troy, that's a yes, mate.
There we go. Troy, just as I think you should add us to the team chat as well, so we can hear you, because we can hear the two drivers, but we obviously can't.
I've
hear
got
the team
75
manager.
litres on board.
I thought I was on that one.
No, I can't hear you.
Yeah, well, hopefully that's according to my Z1.
So just you're getting a little bit of feed through there, viewers, from Team DSA, which is Kai Turner and Darren Goosey, and team manager Troy Allen alongside me in the commentary booth as always, but trying to add a little bit of an extra dimension to the broadcast with, you know, what these teams are doing as the race is going on and what they're thinking, and working out the strategy and stuff as well. So hopefully we'll bring you some useful information and a little bit of insights into what's going on behind the wheel in the helmet of the driver as well as the actual race itself. So there's quite a lot to be thought of in races like these, especially race 1 not so much, race 2 fuel strategy, tire management, all the rest of it, who's where on the track, keeping an eye on, you know, the undercut on the pit stops as well. So there's a lot going on as well, Troy, isn't it, that hopefully we can give everybody an insight into.
There's a hell of a lot going on, especially at DSA. We talk a lot throughout our races with strategy, letting our drivers know where their competition is, who they're racing, especially with Kai at the moment, not having tire deck figures and everything like that, where we talk a fair bit, trying to work out where we're going to be.
So we've also got Dan Stevens available to us as well, so let me just bring up Dan and see how he's getting on. Dan, Steve in the booth.
Hey mate, how you going?
Yeah, qualifying perhaps not what you wanted, the end result there, but how's the car feeling overall? It looks a little bit loose at the rear from what we can see.
Yeah, because we restarted the server, mate, we lost all the rubber.
Yeah, so is that something that's going to play to you as the race moves on, do you think? You'll be able to advance from the qualifying position?
Yeah, mate, the car's going to get tighter as the race goes on, so hopefully I'll be able to get those times coming down a bit.
Excellent, and you've got your the points leader right beside you on the grid as well, so is that somewhere in the back of your mind as well on the start?
Well, at least it's not in front of me, eh?
That's true, yeah, he made a complete mess out of the back section and almost into the tire wall. In fact, it was into the tire wall, so that's the kind of thing you want to see, if you can put pressure on them and hopefully they make the mistakes.
Yeah, that's right. Anybody can do it at any time, mate.
Good stuff. Good stuff, Dan. Well, best of luck and we'll get to you within the race, if that's alright.
Yeah, mate, no problem.
Good luck.
Catch you later.
So yeah, Troy, we just had Dan there, just alluding to, you know, anybody can make a mistake here and it could be race over, so Dave's already made a mistake in qualifying the points leader, so hopefully from Dave's perspective, he hopes that's he's used them all up.
Yeah, from Dave's perspective, you'd hope he's definitely used all of his mistakes up and he's not got any left in the bag. But from the aspect of Kai Turner, Dan Stevens, and probably on the quiet Gavin Cox, you'd hope that he's got a lot more left in him.
I think he will as well. Knowing Dan and how he drives, he's going to let this come to him and let everybody else go do what they've got to do. He'll drive his own race and he'll be thereabouts come the end.
Definitely, and knowing the way Kai drives, he's going to make sure that he's there, he's going to push himself hard, and it's going to be up to me to rein him in.
Well, definitely. I think as well, we've got Kai and Brett right out front, and two harder-headed drivers I don't think you're going to find. So turn one, as the team owner and team manager, I'm sure you will be crossing everything and hoping that they both get through there as well, but I'm expecting fireworks.
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to be having a chat to Takai on his way round with the formation lap and just trying to settle him down, calm him down, and let him know this race is not won on lap 1, turn 1.
That is true. Yeah, it's important to realise that it's. Ooh, we got a big accident with the 9 car coming out of turn 1. He's collected the wall on both sides from the looks of it, so a little bit of a scary moment there. Don't want that happening in the race, or it'll take out half the field.
Especially on lap 1.
Yeah, totally. Okay, so we've got 2 minutes left of the warm-up section, so we'll just let the cars flow on track. We'll be back in 2 minutes for the run to the grid. So you rejoin us just as the warm-up session is finishing right now. We had Kai Turner on a 110.268, 0.140 ahead of Brett Clark, Dave Kinnaman up in third, Dan Ricard, Pavel Ford, Scott Taylor fifth, Joe Busarma sixth, Dan Stevens seventh, Gavin Cox eighth, Bart Van Jay ninth. So pretty much as it was, Troy.
And that's exactly how they started, and that's
Yeah,
exactly
Colin.
how they finished this session.
Yeah, mate.
According to my Z1, 75 litres will do 29.1 laps.
There we go. So we just
Oh
get
no,
this
I've got
on.
77 just to be short.
Throw in 85, boys. Throw 85 to make sure for safety car there will be one. I would virtually guarantee it.
There we go.
That's
We're about to start race.
for a safety car.
So as Troy's just alluded to there on the DSA team radio, safety car, there's a high percentage of a safety car around here, Troy, isn't there? You've got nowhere to go if somebody moves off. They're likely to bounce back into the field. It could be chaos.
And hence why the boys throw a lot more fuel than they need.
So yeah, for our viewers who maybe not quite sure, we add 1 lap for every lap under safety car to the actual overall race length. So people got to think about that. And in pretty much every race so far this season, apart from Hidden Valley, I believe, we did have a safety car, didn't we?
Yes, we did. I think there may have been one at Hidden Valley as well.
I think we had race 1, we maybe had one. Race 2, I know one of the races was completely clear, and look at this, Troy, that's an awesome sight, isn't it? The pit's open and everybody's just piling out.
It's beautiful. I mean, you as an owner of this league, Steve's got to be pretty chuffed seeing a pretty jam-packed grid.
Definitely, and I've got to thank FVR for their hard work as well. This 2014-2015 mod has finally allowed us to realise our potential, and a big thank you should go to all at FVR for this and enabling us to bring this awesome site to everybody.
Yes, definitely, Steve. And I mean, without these guys that put in these hours free of charge, we wouldn't have the ability to commentate this championship and watch some brilliant driving on display.
So we're going out team by team from the looks of it. We've got the 2 DSA cars leading around as well. So it is Kai Turner on pole position from Brett Clark. So it'd be good to see. So let's just bring up the grid. So yeah, it'll be Kai Turner from Brett Clark, Gavin Cox 3rd, Dan Ricard Pavel 4th, Scott Taylor 5th, Wim Pegelli 6th. So in position 1, 2, 3, 5 and 6 we have all previous race winners as well. The only anomaly there is Dan Ricard Pavel, who perhaps should have taken at least 1 out by now as well. Just with a little bit of bad luck, and some poor qualifying at times has cost him. So there's a potential winner in all the way to 9th and 10th. Any one of these top 10 drivers could win this race.
Yeah, I think it's anyone's race really. When you come down to it, I mean, you look at that top 10 there. You've got in 8 and 9, you've got some championship battlers, and 1 and 3. So basically, at both ends of the top 10, the 4 guys that are in line for this championship.
Okay, so as usual, this is the point where myself and Troy put our foot in our mouth and call the winner of race 1. And I'm going to call Gavin Cox from 3rd on the grid, because I tell you what, Brett Clark and Kai Turner are going to run into each other in the 2nd corner.
Oh, it's a big call, Steve. It's a big call. I'm thinking it's coming from the top 3, but I'm not going to put my finger on who it is.
I remember when I called Pengelly to win and lead every lap in the 3rd race at Winton, you looked at me like I'd just lost my mind. And then what happened?
Oh, here we go.
It's these calls to keep the viewers interested. You've got to make it and put your foot in it. So I mean, where's the fun in saying Kai's going to win or Brett's going to win? I think Cox is going to take it out.
Well, I guess time will tell. I'm hoping that your previous form is wrong.
I know.
Right, boys. Team chat to a minimum. We're live on comms. Kai, mate, if Brett's going to put a pressure on, don't worry about it. It's not one and run on the first lap, first turn.
Copy.
So we've got one of the Vegemite cars reversing into position. Looks like a bit of a supermarket jam down there. So we've got pretty much all the cars in it does just give me pleasure to look at this, Troy, and see that amount of cars. Look at those things. They look awesome. They look mean. Proper race cars. This is a proper series. So
This is Steve. This is what you see in the main game. Guys coming down the middle, guys coming down the left, and everyone trying to find their spot in the grid.
excellent. I can hear Baby Dakota making her way onto YouTube for the first time. That's probably some kind of record in itself.
Yeah, it's 9 days old and she's already on YouTube. That's a clacker.
Quality. Okay, so we're getting set for the warm-up lap. So everybody's made their way out to the grid now. So Kai Turner from Brett Clark, Gavin Cox, Dan Ricard Pavel, Scott Taylor, Wim Pengelly, Bert Van Jay, Dan Stevens, championship leader David Kinnaman in 9th, Colin Bruns 10th, Darrell Bennett 11th, Norman Clark 12th, Ian Hannon 13th, Scott Bainsworth 14th, Joe Borswama in 15th. I believe we also know him as Flan Fijian from a while back. Matthew Mitz 16th, Wayne Dare 17th, Darren Goosey 18th, Nick Wickler 19th, Trevor Dixon 20th, Roger Clark 21st, and the evergreen Thor Johnson from our European series is in 22nd. So 22 cars on the grid, 25 laps to go, and we're off on the warm-up lap. Troy, this is going to be a phenomenal event.
Yeah, it is, Stephen. Let's just get a look at some of these cars here and let's see who's on what tyre.
Very good point. I would imagine most of them will be on the soft. It's something we didn't explore was the tyre life, actually. So Kai's turning into turn 1. I can't see a yellow stripe. I can see a white, so he's on the softs. Brett Clark, I'm sure, will be on the softs. He can make any tyre last forever. I see white lines on the Rizla Nissan as well. Wim Pengelly's been known to run a bit of a different strategy every so often, so let's see. Nope, white stripes as well, so looks like pretty much everyone's on the soft tyres at this point.
Yeah, it definitely appears that way. I think, obviously, tyre life's probably not as big an issue as what we thought, because everyone's confident, seems confident in going on the softs. I know Gavin himself is one that errs on the side of caution, and if he wasn't too confident, he would have taken that hard tyre option. So obviously he's confident in the tyre wear.
Yeah, just looking at the 33 is on soft, and the 55 is also on softs. We talked about Kai and Brett potentially getting into it in the first corner or two, but the 33 and the 55 have previous history as well, so there's every chance that there could be some action back there as well.
And that would be disastrous for the championship for Dave and Dan, but quite beneficial for Gavin and Kai.
Absolutely. Let's see how we're looking right now. So almost back round to the starting grid.
Kai and Brett line up side by side, ready to go.
Yeah, we're just looking at the points there. Kai's in 4th on 1,101, and it's 1365 for Dave in the lead. So still all to play for. Still all to play for. So here we go, guys. Get ready. We're about to go.
Look, mate.
Last of the cars just getting into line. I can see Thor Johnson coming in, and one of the Oranga racing cars, that'll be Roger Clark, is just lined up now. So the lights will be firing up any second now. So let's keep an eye on it.
Green flag at the back.
Yeah, I can feel the pressure building. Here we go. And it's green, and a good start there from Kai Turner. Oh, a lot of wheel spin on the second grab of the clutch there as well. Clark's got him so far, and Gavin Cox is trying to steam through as well. Scott Taylor's on the outside.
Massive incident, Pavel.
Oh, there, watch Gavin. Scott Taylor straight into it as well. Not quite sure what happened there, Troy, but that looked... Oh, Wim Pengelly's in the wall as well. Oh, tight track.
Tight track and everyone, cold tyres, cold brakes, cold brains.
Yep, there's so many incidents there, I can't actually pick out the one that caused it, so... I'm not quite sure there, Troy. It looked like maybe Dan got a bump up the back, did he?
Hard to say, I can't get a roll back on this, but all I saw was the Vegemite car sort of basically helicoptering out of control.
Yeah, I think he got a little bit of a tap up the back from what I can see, and we've got Gavin Cox under pressure from Scott Taylor straight away as well. So Taylor, as we know, has got the pace to run right out the front, so he doesn't want to let this one get away from him. And Kai Turner is back on the rear wing of that Nissan as well. He's trying to make up for... He initially got what looked like an awesome jump, but then you could see the tyre lines, so it's like the second part of the shift to maybe second, and it just lit up the rears. And I'll tell you what, who's been the big beneficiary out of this? Dan Stevens and Dave Kinnaman, 5th and 6th.
So basically, we're almost in the top 5. We've got the 4 contenders for this championship. It's on for young and old.
We certainly do, and the only anomaly here is Brett Clark, who didn't run the first few rounds. He's kicking himself now, though, because he felt like he could have picked up a 3rd V8 Supercars Championship. Well, actually, I'll rephrase that. He's probably going to pick up a 3rd one anyway in the European Series, so he could have added 2 in one season. That would have been something to see, eh?
Definitely would have been. I mean, you would have loved to have seen some of the likes of him do it.
That Nissan looked unsettled through that corner there, and Kai's right up the back of him as well. He's got the pressure on, looking for something to go.
Look, that Nissan just doesn't look happy in the early stints. Is it the fuel load's not quite right?
Kai's run a little bit in there on the apex. He's trying to get alongside him, but he's not going to make it there, so he's got to get down. Gavin Cox is holding back Scott Taylor now, so we just take a look at Kai's looking to fill that rear view mirror of Clark's car. He's trying around the outside there as well. Brett's gone defensive into 1, and it's going to cost him on the exit. And look at that, Kai's almost got alongside him there as well. So it's unusual to see Clark defending, especially this early.
Obviously, Kai's definitely got the pace on him, and let's just hope he's not overdriving that car and burns those tyres out.
Yeah, because we know that although Clark might look like he's wringing the neck of the car, he's not doing much damage to those tyres, as we've seen time and again. So Kai's just lost a little bit over this last few corners or so there. I'm wondering if he's just letting it settle back in and get back up to him.
I think that's what he needs to do. He just needs to bide his time, find some rhythm for the car, and pick his moment, really.
So looking at 3rd position, 3.1 seconds off the lead, Gavin Cox. Looks as usual as this is a bit of a cork in the bottle, but viewers, don't be confused by that. This is a guy who's thinking 5 laps in the future. He's not thinking right now. He's just keeping the car on the road and keeping as much tyre as he can to fight with people later on. So what looks like somebody slowing the field down is far from it. And,
so that time around, Steve, we've got Brett Clark with an 11.2 and Kai Turner an 11.8.
Yeah, an 11.6 for Gavin in 3rd. Scott Taylor was right at the back of him on an 11.772. Dan Stevens is coming along nicely and dragging Dave Kinnaman with him as well. So a little bit loose on the exit there from Stevens in the back. That Mercedes, as we alluded to earlier, is having a bit of a mare with the rear tyre life. The rear grip rather than the tyre life. It doesn't feel like it's using any tyre.
Well, it definitely doesn't feel like it's using tyre because it's definitely waving to the crowd.
I think Scott Taylor's got Gavin.
He has. He's been on him.
Certainly has as well. I've got a replay of that on screen as well, so he just hooked it up coming out of that last section. He's got right up on the back of it into the entry of this right-hander. Gavin's actually gone wide, compromised his exit and entry onto the next corner. Scott's got alongside and kept the foot in and just nicked that position. So that was a hell of a move there, wasn't it? So
definitely a gutsy move.
So now we've got a Pertec Red Bull sandwich here. Stevens being the odd one out. Our 3 championship contenders have done their best to find themselves together on track once again. So it's great for the viewing. Let's see how this pans out. So you're the 3rd car in line, Troy. You're Mr. Kinnaman. You're leading the points, but you know you've got to get one over on both your teammate and the 33 to be able to be the preferred driver, if you like, for the championship during the Enduros. So what are you going to do? Are you going to sit here, or are you going to try and make a move?
It's a risk versus reward situation here. Do you put the pressure on? Do you then fight with your teammate, or do you just consolidate and take as many points as you can?
Yeah, it's one of those conundrums as well. And Stevens, I'll bet, is a little bit nervous being in the middle of these two. He wanted to be away from at least one of them, but instead he's found himself right between them. So looking at the lap times for this lap, 1:11.395 for Gavin, a 1:11.684 for Dan, who's the slowest out of the three, and a 11.5 for Dave Kinnaman there. So it's a bit of a seesaw gap. Scott Taylor is making it, showing a clean pair of heels there as well as he moves off after Kai Turner, 3.3 seconds down. And interestingly, Scott Taylor now is clear, just threw down a 1:10.7, which is the fastest lap of the race so far, and by some margin as well. He took a second out of Brett Clark in the lead on that one, so Mr. Taylor's on his way up to the lead battle.
Not fastest, Steve. You got Kai with the fastest with a 10.55, but that 1 second, yeah, he's definitely going to put the pressure on the rest of those front runners there.
Yeah, so you can actually see on the camera shot now, we can see the leading two cars while watching Scott's car, and they're heading that way. So let's take a quick run through the field. So we've covered up to sixth position. Scott Bainsworth from Vegemite Racing in 7th position. A bit of a lonely race at this point, 5 laps in, 17 seconds down off the lead. Colin Bruns from ASR in 8th position, driving a fine race. Obviously he managed to avoid all of that mess at the start. We've got Bert Van Jay in 9th position as well, so keeping a watching brief on that as well. The second of the Rizla Nissans is Ian Hannon in 10th position, 21 seconds off the lead there. And then we've got the second of the DSA cars hassling him all the way. So it's the two teammates are fighting each other for 1st and 2nd, and 10th and 11th as well. So interesting there that they found themselves together on track. So we've got Norman Clark in 12th position, 24 seconds off the lead, driving a fine race, but getting into it with Dan Ricard Pavel, who's recovering after that first incident. So we'll keep an eye on this for a little second as well. We expect that Pavel will be trying to get round here as quickly as possible. Plenty of action further back from cars that had issues in the first couple of laps of qualifying well inside the top 10. We've got Pengelly somewhere around here as well in 19th position for the looks of it. He's had a pit stop as well. I wonder, is that a pit lane penalty, or was that just as a result of hitting the wall early on, Troy? I don't know if you caught any of that.
I'm not sure whether it was a pit drive-through or not, Steve.
And we've got Goosey. Looks like he's made a bit of a mistake and is losing a lot of time. Dan Stevens was off track at some point, so just got a replay as well. I think he's just grazed the tyre barrier there, which has triggered the off-track warning for us. Oh! I think Dan's having a little bit of an issue there.
He's definitely, those Pertec cars are definitely, if he's not looking at his mirrors, he's seeing a Pertec, and he looks out the front window, he sees a Pertec.
So I'm just looking at Goosey backwards here, and it's an angry looking pack to say the least. Pengelly's at the back of it, and I'd be worried if I was anybody else due to previous form, but I think he's reined it in. But he's looking to get past as soon as possible as well here, but there's 3 cars right in the way, so got to find a way around here. Thor Johnson with a little bit of a spin, I think, in the background there. Or was it Trevor Dixon, maybe? I think Trevor Dixon's actually out as well, which is a little bit unfortunate. I'm not sure what happened there. We didn't catch that.
Well, according to the look at DNF, we've got Darryl Bennett, Joe Barrisma and Trevor Dixon are all listed as DNFs at this stage, and Wayne Pengelly is a lap down, so I dare say that was a damage repair.
Yeah. It's really unfortunate, and we just got Kinnaman's got past Stevens. See if we get the replay. So it was coming down into turn 1. Dave's getting right up the back of the Red Bull Mercedes there as well, so trying to get round through turn 1. It looks like a little bit of lag here. Oh, Dan just lit up the rear tyres and Dave got up the outside. Bit of a move. They're still side by side, and Dan Stevens lost out for the looks of it there. Definitely a bit of lag going on here today, Troy. I'm not sure what's happening.
Well, I know over here we're having a bit of bad weather in New South Wales, but I don't know what's going on in the rest of the world.
Yeah, not quite sure. So just moving up to the top two again. So we've got Clark is 0.5 of a second ahead of Kai Turner, and I think that's pretty much where it's been for the first 9 laps. So Kai's certainly not giving up. I'm wondering if he's keeping his powder dry for a little bit of a push at the end.
Definitely, because that was out to almost a second now, so he's obviously starting to push the car on a little bit now.
So these two are running comfortably in the 1-minute 10s. Everybody else is in the 11s at least. So Scott Taylor's dropped off to 5 seconds behind now as well. So no challenge coming from that way. So it is looking like it's between these two. It'll be interesting to see if our normal prediction of Gavin Cox thinking 5-6 laps ahead, if he's actually going to start throwing down some faster laps and catch back up to Scott Taylor. But his last lap was 1:11.8 till 11:4 for Scott, so a little bit of disparity still there. Oh, and there we go, a 1:11.1 for Gavin Cox in that lap, 11.4 for Scott Taylor again. So Gavin looks like he's getting a move on. Obviously in his rear view mirror he can see the other Paratech car of the points leader, and he knows. Oh, and Dave's just gone wide there as well into turn 2, and Dan Stevens wasn't close enough, but he is now coming into turn 3, so looks like could be a move coming on here any second now. It's a little bit of a mistake from the championship leader there, and his fellow championship protagonist is right up the back of him and is looking for a way past now, so keep an eye on these two.
It's on everywhere you look. You got Kai Turner really muscling up the rearview mirror of that Rizla Nissan now.
Yeah, so Dan's looks like he's cleaning up that car now, getting a little bit of a feel for it as well. Be interesting to see how his tyres are going. I'm just going to get him on the straight and see if we can hear what's going on with that car. Dan, Steve in the booth, you got me?
Yeah, mate, go ahead.
How's the car feeling? Dave's obviously got past you with a little bit of an incident there.
Hang on a second, mate.
Yeah, just come back to me when you can. So just waiting on Dan there. He's obviously coming into the turn 2 complex, doesn't want to make a mistake, so we'll just wait till we're on the next straight and hear back from him. So yeah, so Cox has now got
I'll
the
get you back on the straight.
That's cool, mate. Gavin Cox has now got his teammate and championship leader coming towards him as well. So if you're in that 5 car, Troy, you're going to be a little bit worried, aren't you?
Definitely would be, because you got to think you don't want to sort of throw your own race away because you're involved in this championship battle as well. But you don't want to be the one responsible for ruining your teammates' championship battle as well.
Yeah, it's as we spoke to both of them earlier, and they said they had a bit of a team meeting. Hang on, we're going to get Dan Stevens coming through in a second on the radio. Let's hear what happened with that incident.
Yeah, it's coming together, mate. Pretty good, eh? I went wide on that turn, as you saw, and that's how he got past me.
You got the pace to get him back?
Yeah, of course.
Good man. Yeah, so there we just had it from Dan Stevens. He thinks
Tyres aren't doing too well, though.
Ooh, interesting there, Troy. We've had it from the 33 that the tyres aren't doing so well. Any chance you can jump on your team radio, maybe from Goosey, and see what the DSA car's tyres are like?
Hey boys, Troy and comms. Kai, mate, how's your tyre life looking?
Not so good on the left rear.
Goosey?
Sorry, front left 78%, rear left 80%.
Okay, thanks for that.
Alright, Kai,
Troy.
mate, bring it home, mate, bring it home.
Thanks for that, Troy there. So we're having the 33 and the 408 having a bit of tyre issues, so this race could change yet, Troy. There's 12, 13 laps remaining, is there?
Yeah, it looks to be about 12 laps, Steve.
Yeah, interesting. Kai's definitely still keeping up the fight with the Clark car in front as well. I'm just trying to see who that is in front. He's flashing his lights at the 9 car. Oh, caught him in a bad place there as well. Not a lot Roger can do to get out of the way right there because there's walls to the left and the right, but he did a sterling job of getting out of the way. But as always, and we always say in these races, your disadvantage as a leader because you're the person who comes through and alerts the back markers, and if you've got somebody up the back end of you like Kai, he's going to take the advantage of it because he doesn't have to lift the throttle. The leaders had to do that to get through.
Oh, that's exactly right, and it's definitely closed the gap up between him and Brett, but now we're into lap traffic. This could be the difference between Ty. Or even Brett looks like he's sliding there a bit, Steve.
I think he is as well, yeah. It'd be interesting to see how the JRC car is getting on, but well, I tell you what, within about 2 or 3 laps we're going to know, because if the tyres have been punished too much, the lap times are going to drop off. They're both into the 11s as we speak there, but that will probably be with the back marker a little bit more than the tyre wear, although Scott Taylor dropped into the 11s as well, and he was matching them 10th for 10th for the last 3 laps from the looks of it as well. So we should see an indication within the next, I would say, 2 to 3 laps of which cars are suffering with tyre issues, because the lap times will drop off dramatically. I'd say we'd be into the 12s if somebody has to try and play it safe.
Definitely, I think you'll see these drop down. See, Brett Clark's really working those tyres. Oh, that car's not happy.
Yeah, it took a little bit more than he wanted through there, and Kai smells blood, so he's right up the back of it again, and we got another
buy your time, Kai. Buy your time.
We've got another back marker. We've got lots of back markers. Right, it's on now. So let's see if Kai can take advantage of the situation and stick one down the inside, or will the ever masterful 2-time V8 Supercars Championship Brett Clark clean up the traffic as normal? I'll tell you what, one thing you always notice with Brett Clark is there's a little bit of the thing that the aura that Senna had around him. I don't want to compare anyone to Senna, because he's one of the best drivers ever, but in back markers and traffic particularly, when they've seen that yellow helmet, they just jumped out of the way. So Clark seems to have that ability to get people out of the way and pretty quickly. And look at that, he's just done it. He's cleaned it, got past the Nick Whitney Mercedes there in what is not normally a passing position, and Kai is not giving up. He's stuck right up the back of him as well. It's good to see.
Definitely is. I mean, as long as Kai stays with Brett, he'll get through the traffic without problem.
So just looking back through the times, Dan Stevens has now dropped 2 seconds off the back of the 555 Racing battle. Look at this. Kai's getting setting it up nice. He's trying to get to the left for turn 13, I would imagine, for the hairpin. Is he going to go for it? It's closer than ever now.
It's definitely on here, Steve. I think Brett might be struggling with tyre life too.
I think he is, yeah. So we've got
Bide your time, mate. Don't work your tyres.
Got Norman Clark coming up nicely now as well, so if he stays to the right, that's going to lock out one of the overtaken positions, and they're not going to get to him before this corner. So through the back slow section, they're potentially going to be loaded up behind a back mark, and look at that, Kai's locking up a little bit there as well as he's trying to get the power down.
Yeah, he's definitely starting to feel it a bit. I think Stevie's trying to get a little anxious and wanting to make the move.
Yeah, this is my only criticism of Kai, is he, rather than wait it out sometimes, he sticks it down, but that's youth for you. And as we always say, it's better to try and calm down a fast driver than speed up a slow one.
That's exactly right, Steve.
Do you know what, Troy? I think they're definitely struggling with tyre life, because we've seen Norman Clark appear to be lapped almost 3/4 of a lap ago, and they're only just getting to him now. So yeah, there's definitely a little bit of an issue with tyre life, I would say, for these two.
Yeah, Brett was a lot narrower into, I think it was 12 there as well.
Yes, that's a full lap now behind the back marker of the Ford, so they need to clean it up soon. Now, Kai lost a little bit out of that final turn 13 there as well, so he's not going to be too happy with that. He's going to catch him in turn 1. Ooh, Norman jumps out of the way. That's good driving there, Norman. Good driving.
Yeah, top driving there.
Kai takes a lot more road through turn 2 there, as well. You can see he catches right back up to the rear wing of the Nissan.
Definitely does.
So I'm just going to take a quick look back at our championship protagonists, and the Red Bull Nissan looks like it's really suffering the tyres now. He's dropped right back off the 2 555 racing cars. Gavin Cox 9 seconds off the lead in 4th. Dave Kinnaman 10 seconds off the lead in 5th. They're not getting close enough to put on a battle between themselves either. Ooh, Kinnaman's really wide out of that one, so I would say they're all starting to suffer a bit here, aren't they?
Tyres are definitely the story of the day here, Steve.
Yeah, so looking down through our top 10, we've Brett Clark leading from Kai Turner, Scott Taylor 3rd, 6 seconds back, 8 seconds back, Gavin Cox in 4th, 10 seconds back, Dave Kinnaman 5th, Dan Stevens 6th position, 12 seconds back, then quite a gap back to Scott Baines.
Oh, and Kai Turner's got past Brett Clark.
Awesome, how did he do that? Let's see if we can get that on replay. So we're just following through the turn 12 right-hander, turn 13 to the left, and as Kai just jammed it down the inside. Nope. Tire life, the JRC Nissan just lost it on the exit, and Kai almost cleaned up as well.
Yeah, and now Clark's back in front.
Yeah, let's see if we can get that one as well. So we're just following on from the Kai overtaking here as well. So Kai looked like he got a bit of oversteer through there. Then all of a sudden the Clark car dropped back. And coming through turn 1, Brett's got the run. He just kept it out, and Kai touched the wall a little bit in the inside. They're really suffering with tire life through here, aren't they, at the moment?
Definitely is, Steve.
That was a 112.193 for Brett Clark and a 111.353 on that lap for Kai Turner. So it'll be flipped around this time around. Imagine Kai will be in the 12s a little bit. Do you know what, there, looking at that move though, it looked like Kai was almost surprised that he had got past. I was certainly surprised. He looked like Kai was not trying to make a manoeuvre then. Clark looked like he either missed a gear or just didn't get on the throttle quick enough, and Kai was probably caught out by that, to be honest.
Definitely looks that way, doesn't it?
So 6 laps remaining, and as you were, Brett Clark leading from Kai Turner, 0.8 seconds back, 0.6 seconds now. So it's just up and down. It's a bit of a yo-yo at the moment, isn't it, with these front two? Scott Taylor 6 seconds back in 3rd, driving a fine race. Gavin Cox leading the charge of the championship protagonists in 4th. Dave Kinnaman 9 seconds back in 5th. Dan Stevens 3rd of our title contenders in 5th position. And this is what Kai wants, isn't it? But really, he needs to get this win in the books, doesn't he? Because he's quite a bit back to be a legitimate contender. He needs something. Basically, what I'm trying to say is he needs something to happen to one of the top 3.
Either that or just consistent good results. And I think with Enduros coming up, if he can finish, a good 3 or 4 spots further up, and that being the very pointy end of the grid, I think it's going to be a real championship contention.
Just on the nose cam here of Kai Turner's car. Let's jump in the cockpit with him, and we'll follow on a lap of Townsville from inside of the 408 car in 2nd position with the GOC Nissan on foot. So a lot of oversteer there. It's very busy in the rear car.
Extremely busy there, Steve. He's really struggling. That left rear is really working.
Yeah, I'm just saying that as he comes in, the rear's locking up now. I would hope he's got the brake balance and just start the steering, because he needs to switch that brake balance around a little bit.
Move balance forward, mate. Move your brake balance forward, please. You're locking the rears.
There we go. We're getting into the left here, into the right-hander, over the top of the curbs.
5 to go, mate. 5 to go. Plenty of time. Bide your time.
So this is where we can tell how the car's handled. Oh! Massive moment through there.
Massive moment and well held.
Hoping that hasn't just lost him the race though, because Clark will say that and put the foot down there. So let's jump into the JRC Nissan and see from the cockpit view how that car's going. Taking it very easy on the application of power through there.
Yeah, very, very slow on the throttle, isn't he, Steve?
Kai's dropped off to 2 seconds back now as well, so see if Brett clocks that and tries to break it once and for all. It's very smooth at this stage though, isn't it, this car?
It's looking settled, but yet the body language from the outside tells a whole different story, doesn't it, Steve?
Does, and I'll tell you what, one thing that you never associate with Brett Clark is smooth. Oh, very easy through there. That's nicely done through this right-hander 12. Looking for the apex of 13 on the left here. Run right to the edge there a little bit. Yeah, tire life in the rear of that car is gone as well, hasn't it?
Definitely, I think everyone's struggling with tyre life. It'll be interesting to see what the top three have to say. But in saying that, Gavin Cox is still clocking some brilliant times.
Well, as we said, he's thinking 5-6 laps ahead. So let's get in the cockpit of the 5 car. Scott Taylor's now right in the gun sights, shall we say?
Oh, he would be, because he seems to be cracking out consistent 1 minute 10s now. His best laps are 10.923. Last time around, he has actually thrown a 10.93, so he's right there.
Yeah, he's kept his tires level low. 11.2 for Scott Taylor, so let's keep an eye on this and see where we get. Very economical with the curbs through there. This is somebody associated with smooth. Everything just happens as it's going to happen. Like Scott Taylor trying to close off the apex there, early apex with Gavin. Lost a little bit of time through there as well, but let's see if we can get on the back of it down the straight here. To the HRT car hits the curb very hard on the apex of 13 there as well, but Gavin's starting to ramp up on the back of it. There's 3 to go at this point.
Three to go, Kai. 1.7 to go. 3 to go. Oh, and Gavin. Oh!
Massive oversteer
from both of them.
Just saying that they're matching each other issue for issue, shall we say? Rather, it's not a mistake. It's how the car's behaving at this time, isn't it?
Oh, I've got damage on the front right.
Damage there from Darren Goosey's car. It's a shame Darren's running in 12th position there.
Yeah, look, Darren, he's the guy that I really enjoy having in my team. He's easy to coach along because he doesn't need much coaching. He just drives the car along and brings it home in a good position.
Oh, just seen the replay of what happened there. He's just got on the curb around the backstretch and got knocked off into the tire wall. So yeah, that's going to hurt for a while, isn't it?
Well, good thing he's done it right at the back end of the race.
Yeah, that's true. Last lap. So Kai Turner has phenomenally closed it back into 0.8 seconds. He's going to run out of laps, unfortunately, I would imagine. We'll keep an eye on this. So Clark is... that was a 110.7 from Kai on that last lap. That's phenomenal at this pace in this part of the race.
Wow! Especially considering that we know that his rears are shot.
Yeah, totally. So let's get through for this one. Yeah, Clark's going to come across the line. Nice, he's got an Oranga car in front of him, a little bit of back markers again. I wonder is this going to play into Kai's hands, but I think there's just enough space between them to not affect Brett too much here. Yeah, so Kai's raging up the back of him now, he's 0.8 seconds back as well. Oh, he's lost the rear! Kai's got to run, down the inside, look at this, coming into turn 13, this is for the win! Oh! Down the inside, he shoved it as he lost it on the exit, he has! Oh!
Oh no!
Oh, damn it. And he's recovering and he's only going to get 5th position from the looks of it. You got to give it to the guy though. He gave it all on that last corner and he had the win. That's unfortunate.
Fucking kidding me.
Unlucky.
You can hear the frustration in his voice.
Absolutely. That's... Well, you know, if you're not a racing driver if you don't go for it, are you? That was
It set up the grandstand finish, didn't it, Steve?
That was stunning. I thought he had it as well. Brett made that mistake, a little bit of oversteer, and I suppose it paid back again because Kai went in a little bit hot into that last corner and obviously got caught out with something, a bit of a track anomaly there. So we've got Mr. Clark doing his donuts and a fine set of donuts. Oh, whoops. Vegemite car didn't like that. Well done to everybody there. So let's get up our finishing order for everybody before we lose it.
Just watching the replay there, Steve, he just seemed to clip that curb and it just flipped him.
Yeah, so let's actually, now you mentioned, let's just get that replay. Where is it? See if we can find it. No, I don't know. I think we lost that one, unfortunately. So such a shame for Kai there.
Oh, look, it was. I mean, my heart was in my mouth there. I thought we were on it, and then next thing you know, we're flipping it. Even Dakota's devastated.
Okay, I can hear that. So there we go. So we've got the win for Brett Clark, second position. Fortunate Scott Taylor, Gavin Cox third, David Kinnaman fourth, and Kai Turner slots in between Kinnaman and Stevens, which is going to be a problem for Dan in the points there. He didn't need that. Dan Stevens in sixth, Scott Baines were seventh, Bert Van J eighth, Ian Hannon ninth, Wayne Dare 10th, and as you can see, everybody else down to 22nd. So well done. That was an excellent race one. Let's see if we can get the Victor and the rest of the people in for a little bit of a post-race interview. So just bear with us 1 second.
Brett moved in from V8
I'll
Supercars
leave them with
by
you, Steve. I'll just quickly make up a bottle.
Scott Taylor moved in from V8 Supercars by Steve. Ferrari moved in from V8 Supercars by Steve.
So welcome everybody to the commentary. Congratulations, Brett, on the win. Scott on second position, and Gavin in third. Gavin, we just come to you first. Obviously, third position's ideal for the championship. You need to get them all the points you can in there as well. A little bit fortunate that you got the podium in the end there with Kai's issue, but well done. And you were showing plenty of pace in the back half of the race, but the early part of the race, maybe it was getting away from you a little bit.
Yeah, Steve, I think as the rubber went down a bit more in the race, got a bit more confidence, and I decided I'd have a bit more at the go at the tyre. I was being a bit too kind to it, I think, and that's probably why I come on at the end.
Well done, but you must be happy that you've bagged a podium and all the important points and finished in front of Dave and Dan as well. So well done on
Copy,
that.
Troy.
And best of luck for the second race. So Scott, come to you next. Congratulations.
Yeah, my front left was really down there, Kai. I was in the red, mate.
Yeah, Scott, congratulations on second position there.
Yeah, my rear left was gone.
Good race and a bit fortunate there to get the
Yeah,
second
I
position.
tagged the wall,
Well
got a bit
done.
of damage.
How was it for you?
Got lucky at the end.
Had a lot
the
of
race was only
understeer
25 laps.
when I was
My
turning
rear
right.
tyres were gone, eh? Any more laps and Gavin probably would have taken me. But no, second place is pretty good.
Excellent, well done. And Brett, the win, it didn't look like it from turn 12. It looked like you'd dropped the rear off a little bit and Kai was going to get you, and then he got a little bit over ambitious on the apex of the final corner. So a good win, and well deserved, but a little bit fortunate as well, I suppose you could say. How was it?
Yeah, it was a bit of a lucky win, to be fair. My tyres were shot at the end, and that's why I came into that last corner, and the rear axle just locked up, and I had to correct it, and obviously went wide. And then when I saw Kai up my inside, I thought, okay, well, let's try and cut under him, and obviously he hit the curb and rolled it.
How many litres this one?
But I did want to say a big thank you to him. I had a big leg spike in the middle of the race, which allowed him to overtake me, and good sportsmanship, he let me come back through.
At 2.6
so, big up to him.
times 55 was
143. Well done, there's top three, and we'll catch you all for race 2. So best of luck, guys.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers.
Thanks, Steve.
Brett moved to V8 Supercars by Steve. Scott Taylor moved to V8 Supercars by Steve.
Right,
Ferrari moved to V8 Supercars by Steve.
Right, everybody. So unfortunately, that's where we're going to have to leave it for this week. I'm not able to bring you race 2, but I've got a prior engagement I've got to get to, or otherwise it'll end up in divorce. So, looking forward to race 2. Anybody who wants to, if you've got R Factor 2, jump on the server as a spectator and feel free to watch it yourselves. So, well done, Troy. Good race. And best of luck with race 2. So, thanks for everything.
No worries. Thank you, Steve, and enjoy your weekend, mate.
No worries. I will catch everybody later. So, well done.